What's up, everyone? Welcome to Darkling Alley. I'm Jay here with Tempest,
Hello.
and we're really excited about this video because it's the first in which we do any talking. And what better game to start with than one inspired by artists such as David Lynch and Stephen King? If you haven't seen our first video about a potential release date for Alan Wake 2 hidden in the game Control, go check it out and let us know what you think. At 59 seconds, it's an easy watch.
Posting videos about a 13-year-old game, even a 4-year-old game, felt like a bit of a risk as a new channel. However, Alan Wake developed an extremely loyal fan base over the years, who are now finally getting a sequel to one of their most beloved games. We played Alan Wake for the first time last year and loved it. When we heard about there being a sequel on the way, we decided to take it as an opportunity to share our thoughts and opinions about what we simply don't hear about or can't find any information on, as well as talk about what we might see in the sequel. In this video, we'll go over why we believe that the situations in Alan's flashbacks take place in 2010, or present day in the game, and how it relates to why time doesn't exist in Bright Falls during the events of the game. This video will be the first in a short series discussing topics such as these, and we truly hope you enjoy them. So with that all said, let's get into this. The events of Alan Wake take place in September 2010, but apparently so do the flashback sequences to 2 and 3 years prior. The evidence is located on the wall in Alan's office. In both flashbacks, he has a 2010 calendar. It's not easy to see because the numbers are very small and something as simple as a calendar isn't likely to draw much attention. But in a game in which I'm supposed to question everything, I look at everything.
Now, before we write this off as Remedy reusing assets, Remedy actually made a second calendar, which doesn't have a year. It just says calendar. It is first seen in Stucky's gas station. So, Remedy had 2 calendars to use however they wanted. In this case, even calendars seem to serve as another storytelling device. Oh, and a fun find in the first flashback is a note on Alan's refrigerator explaining that apartment maintenance is scheduled to come change the filters in the air ducts, which is something that was said to have occurred in the oldest house on the day that Alice was brought in for an interview. According to a message that Alan sends from the dark place, Hartman sensed Alice's presence and went berserk, breaking out of his cell and killing several FBC employees. Servicing the air ducts was reported to be the only thing to have happened that day that was outside of routine operations. And if you look really carefully at the apartment logo, you can see a large owl perched on top of a very tall building with 2 smaller owls on each side. While the logo is specific to the apartment building, called the Parliament Tower, it just might be a nod to the oldest house. Just a thought.
So, regarding time, every clock you come across will usually be a grandfather clock with no hands, with the exception of 2 wall clocks at the sheriff's station, which don't actually keep time, and the clock at Town Hall, which is frozen at 3 o'clock. Rose looks at her wristwatch at one point, but it's not very clear if it's an actual watch or a prop. Remember, this is Alan's story. When Alan gets a call from the kidnapper, his phone says it's 10:29 a.m., but at the sheriff's station, the clocks say 9:05, which is apparently where they stopped at some point. This issue with time carries over into Control, where all of the wall clocks are stopped at 3:45, and you can find some clock radios that are all stopped at 1:25. A clock in Dr. Darling's office is the only clock that actually works. Kind of. Speaking of the scene at the sheriff's station, I have to point out that Alan's phone isn't actually getting a signal. This brand of phone is a Pantech, and it should display the network and signal strength right here. And the time would have been located on the top right of the screen. Control fans, don't get too excited about this icon. That is the actual icon for the signal on this phone. Some of you may have seen it in real life, but I actually had to look it up. Maybe it happened to be a lucky coincidence for Remedy, but I think we all know better. Alan's Mystic Mobile gets texts and phone calls on mountaintops and never seems to sustain damage when he's jumping off cliffs or submerged in water.
Okay, so it's time to reveal our theories. We both agree that the reason why every year is 2010 is because Alan is writing the events of the story in 2010, including the flashbacks. However, our narrator abandons us in the first flashback. There is some minor gameplay, and we witness a loving moment between Alan and Alice, without being told how to interpret it. Alan does narrate the second flashback, the one that shows how he's falling apart, so to speak. He's in the middle of a publicity tour for his new novel, The Sudden Stop.
Now, this might be a spoiler for those who haven't read the book yet. Based on the sales figures, the 2 people out there who haven't read the book yet.
In American Nightmare, his notes explain that he never handled the pressures of success very well. It is in this flashback when he suggests that they go away together, and that's how they eventually end up in Bright Falls. Since Alan is our narrator, he should be with us at all times, which is why the first flashback seems more like a movie or TV show, or perhaps even a third-person video game in which the fourth wall is still intact. The second flashback also has gameplay, but is narrated, which allows for it to feel less removed from what the players have been experiencing up to that point. The first flashback feels like a moment of respite, but did it really happen? Did either flashback happen, or happen the way we're shown or told? Judging by the calendar, the two flashbacks could not have occurred 2 and 3 years prior to 2010, which leaves us with only one alternative. Alan has written these memories for departure. They might be autobiographical moments, or they could be autofiction. One possibility is that the calendar will read 2010 until the story is finished, in a similar manner to how time stands still while Alan is writing. As far as time goes in Bright Falls, it makes sense that it cannot exist during an AWE, in which reality is being altered. The FBC referred to this AWE as local and for a limited time, in other words, during the time in which Alan was writing.
There is so much to unpack in both Alan Wake and Control, and we do plan to continue creating short-form videos regularly. But we want to devote a larger part of our time to newer games, and also try some live gameplay at some point. But we'll upload gameplay and reviews of newer games soon.
So that's it, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. It means so much to us as a new channel. While being scared is awesome, which is why our channel is geared primarily to survival horror, we love just having fun and not taking everything too seriously. We hope you'll join us for our next video about another Remedy title, Control, so subscribe to our channel and click the notification bell so that you're alerted when we upload future content. And if you enjoyed this video, consider giving it a like. It will really help to grow the channel. And if there's a game that you'd like to see us play or review, let us know and we'll add it to our list. So, Darkling Alley signing off for the night. See you soon.
Thanks.